looking at it going, okay, great. So now we know that people got 105. That's excellent. Thank you so much, assholes. But yeah, no, I don't remember what it was.
Gotcha.
I looked at it and I was like, well, at least I'm up to 25. I'll take it. I'm just gotta hang on to the 25. And one test, so now this is my job.
And let's be honest, what you don't know is 20 is the lowest you can get. I won't give you lower than 20. I just feel like that's a little bit, my younger days.
Wait, plus we had 5 bonus points.
So I got a 20 and then got 5 bonus points.
So you get a single question right? Oh. See, like, I like how you put them on there, because, like, if I get a bad grade, I go home and I'm like, well, the low was a 20. or like the average was like a 55.
So when I was young, and I'm still relatively young, but when I was young teaching, I used to have this theory that if you don't answer any question, if you just leave the whole fucking thing blank, I'll give you a 20. Mm-hmm. Because you've saved me from having to look through a bunch of bullshit that you clearly don't know.
Yeah.
Just admit you don't know.
You told us that at the beginning.
Turn it in blank. And then the one kid turned it in blank and got a 20, and his buddy actually tried and got a 0. And I gave the kid a 0, and he was so pissed. He was like, he got a 20 and he didn't even do anything. And I'm like, well, you made me read the shit. You made me waste 5 minutes of my life. He at least did make me waste 5 minutes of my life. And then after that, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. You can have a 22. Like, if you need a 20 to help your average, it's probably not going too well for you anyway. We'll see you next term. But yeah, no, so now when I get done, if I start counting, once I get to 80, I'm like, okay, it's a 20.
So wait, since I'm a collegiate, am I allowed to take your class again, like, if I just want to get a higher grade? If I don't have it, oh, dang, okay.
Once you get a C, that's it. Now, if you talk to me and you say, hey, Dreyer, give me an F, I want to take it again, I'll do that. And I've actually had people do that before. They're going to get a C, and they're like, I don't want a C. Give me an F instead.
Yeah, and then it won't show up on your transcript once you take it again.
Yeah, and then grade forgive just kind of fixes it for them.
Honestly, I might do that. Because I only have 3 classes next year.
I mean, that's something you got to talk to your counselors and your parents about. Don't get my ass in trouble.
Dreyer said he'd fail me, Mom.
Dreyer said he has no problem giving me an F, Mom. But you got to see. Yeah, but I want an F.
Because I have to have a 90 on both tests to get a B from that last one.
You can do it. All right, so right now we just have statistics and pre-calculus, is that right? That's your statistics, right?
Yeah.
Pre-calculus, Addy? Okay, so we're going to go right here. We're going to worry about test 5 for right now. All right, I'm trying to get you all ready for test 5. So let's go. We're going to look at freshmen and sophomores and who's involved in community clubs. I mean, campus clubs. Okay? So we're going to look at 50 freshmen, and we're going to find out that 18 are in a club. We're going to ask 50 sophomores. Now these numbers don't have to be the same. And we're going to find out of the 50 sophomores, 26 are in a club. All right, and we want to test the claim that the freshman percentage is less than the sophomore percentage. Does that make sense? And we're going to use a 0.02 level of significance. All right. That y'all? All right. So, Jake and Addie, we're going to kind of continue that conversation we were having yesterday. All right, what we just reviewed for the final exam. All righty. let us solve, let's start here. Let us solve log base 6, 2x minus 3, minus log base 6, x plus 4, equals negative 3. Let us solve that, and then let us solve e to the 5x minus 3 is equal to 7. And then let us solve e to the 2x minus 6 e to the x plus 5 is equal to 0. Let's solve these three. When y'all get done, let me know. Dad, I'm taking 2 weeks off and then I'm quitting. Who's that? Hey Jake, can you unlock that door for me, please?
I think she'll be in the shower, so.
My daughter hit me yesterday, she tricked me. My new problem, not what we call it. She said, what mouse walks on 2 legs?
Mickey,
What duck walks on 2 legs?
all of them.
She got me, I said that. I was proud to remember the fucking duck, I almost said Goofy.
Daphne isn't from Mickey Mouse though.
What's that?
Donald. Daphne is from Looney Tunes.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
It's a duck.
Couldn't even remember.
Is that gonna be the next cow problem?
Yeah.
Oh,
That sure is.
thanks. I'll just put it into it later.
Yeah, just look at it later. Yeah, if you use the wrong formula, you don't get very many points. Hey Cody,
Yes, sir.
can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
Exactly why the hell did you even show up to take the test?
Well, you see, I put all my eggs in this basket and not that basket. So, you know,
No, I understand. So I'm just wondering why you just didn't take a 0 and just call it good.
well, you know, what I have now looks better than that. So, I mean, it might be worth the same. But I mean, hey, points is points.
Cody, can I ask another question?
Sure.
Did you even like read most of the questions, or did you just relatively Christmas tree the whole thing?
No, I read it and then I just guessed. It's kind of like thought the numbers would fit.
Okay.
Honestly, there was graphs and I was
He wasn't even here for the.
I wasn't here for any of the classes because I was doing either weightlifting stuff or I was out of state for the Valdosta stuff. So like 2 weeks back to back while you were teaching all of that, I was just gone.
No, I just was wondering why you even like took the effort to drive over here.
And he was late too, so.
Yeah, and I was late.
So-
Yeah, and then you came in late, and I was like, well, I'll let you do it later. He's like, no, it's fine, I'll do it now. And I was like, oh, shit. Then you turned it in, and I was like, fuck, maybe he knows what he's doing. And then I graded it, and I was like, yeah, no, he didn't have a clue.
Nope.
All right, we'll see if you can do this. Those should be better.
Yeah, I like long. Jeez,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because it's a, I'm sorry.
Addie, are you ready?
No.
Okay, keep working. Yeah, what's your question?
Can I see my test?
Can you see which test, baby?
The last one.
I guess you can. Sure. I have to try to go find it.
You want us to just translate it, right? You want us to just translate it, right? Switch it to the other formula, or you want us to solve
You gotta solve it. You gotta solve it.
You're good.
Hey, Debo. Who the hell builds in a scantron like that? Have you in your life?
It's bad. Did it grade?
No, it didn't, Greg. I had to do that shit by
I was
hand.
about to say.
What happened?
It's all the things that I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah, actually.
It's like the first time dating someone on campus.
How the hell do you look at those and come up with that as a
My
solution?
wife and not your scantron.
You don't know who does it, I can find it for you. Just give me everything.
No, I know who did it.
What is P1?
Hey, Kyle. Huh?
Wasn't me one.
You do that?
Yeah. They must have never taken a Scantron before.
Oh, the
I
test
haven't-
in here goes.
I
This
have,
wasn't your class, this is somebody else's, but.
I have to believe that that's the first time I've ever seen that, to do that.
Yeah.
But how have you made it this far in life and never had to use a
I
scantron?
gotta give them the benefit of the doubt.
Homeschool.
What order?
That's a homeschool kid right there.
Yeah.
Grow up, mama giving them A's. Never taking a test. All right. And when I saw that shit, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Hey, let's do this, guys.
Ooh,
You.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Hey, Josh, tell them the rule.
What, girl?
When I come to you,
You're ready.
you be ready. Although right now it's not that bad, it's only 2 classes, so your wait's not that long. All right, here we go. 18 out of 50 is 0.36. So P hat 1 is 0.36. P hat 2 is 0.52. Yeah? Our claim is that H1 or P1 is less than P2. So HO will be that P1 minus P2 is equal to 0. H1 is that P1 minus P2 is less than 0. I don't think any of you did it, but for those watching at home, I saw a lot of this. HO equals 0, H1 less than 0. That's not telling me what value you're referring to. So you can't write it that way. All right?
How do we know if we use P or M?
P or U?
Oh, wait, yeah, never mind. I got it, because it's average. Just kidding.
Yeah. No, I was just mad you said M. That we this far into the course and you just said M.
I also just said it, don't worry.
This is the left tail test. This area is 0.02. That represents negative 2.05, yes? Part C. Part C. P hat 1 minus P hat 2 minus P1 minus P2 over the square root of P bar Q bar over N1 plus P bar Q bar over N2. Part D. 0.36 minus 0.52 minus 0 divided by, what's P bar? P bar is 18 plus 26 over 50 plus 50, which is 0.44, which makes Q bar 0.56, yeah? .44 times 0.56 over 50 plus 0.44 times 0.56 over 50 equals, this is negative 0.16, this is .245 times 2 is .49. So this is .49. This is times 7. This is 1. This is .07. This is 16 over 7, which is 2.2. Eight. Negative. Somebody's got a calculator, can verify that number? I feel relatively confident about it. Allie, are you doing it with your phone?
Mm-hmm. Emily took my charger, and so then my calculator died.
Josh, find that crap for me, please.
I will.
Josh, what the hell's taking so long?
I plugged it in.
What did you get, Dylan?
Negative 1.6.
What?
I did too, and I thought it was just because I was on my phone.
Did you really?
Yeah. I was like, I probably just typed it in wrong because I'm on my phone.
No, I mean, I could have screwed it up.
Or Dylan and I coincidentally both screwed the same part up.
Oh shit, I never took the square root.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I got the.
Yeah, I never took the square root.
Yeah.
My bad.
I did that one time and I was like, why is my answer so far off from it? And I was like, wait a minute.
No, I didn't. When I got to the bottom, I didn't do the square root. No, I did. No, I didn't do the square root of the top number. I did the square root of the bottom number. My fault. It's okay. It just proves that I'm not some kind of mathematical savant. Negative 1.61.
You see, this not gonna work. I keep my charge work from Emily today.
Yeah. Negative 1.61.
Do you want us to add the 1 on the end?
You need to take 2 decimal places, yes.
Okay.
All right. Part E, negative 1.61 is here, yes? It's in the non-shaded area?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll fail to reject HO. Part F, if I fail to reject HO, I'm saying this is true and this is false. Not support the claim. Due to space issues, we're just going to get straight to the brass tacks. We're not supporting the claim. Okay? Part G, you have on that sheet of paper, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody good? Josh, you good?
Yes.
All right, now, same data, let's construct a 98% confidence interval for the difference in proportion. You should have the formula right there with you, yeah? It's either the first or second formula on that sheet. All right, give it a try. Give it a try. All right, pre-calculus, we're on you. All right. Log 6, 2x minus 3 over x plus 4 is equal to negative 3. Yeah? 6 to the negative 3 equals 2x minus 3 over x plus 4. So this is 2x minus 3 over x plus 4 equals 1 over 216. Do we agree? Jake, we agree? Jake?
Where did you get the 260?
6 to the third, baby.
Oh,
6 times 6 is 36, times 6 is 216. Kyle, you good? Now, 216 times 2x minus 3 equals x plus 4. $432x minus 648. Yeah. 431x equals 652. Divide by 431, divide by 431. X is equal to 652 over 431.
Oh, done.
Which is around 1.5 ish. It's like 1.52 or something like that. What is it?
1.5127.
All right, so 1.51. Now, when you get this, you have the answer, right? But now you got to go back and double check. Make sure that you're not getting a domain restriction, right? If I plug in 1.51, 2 times 1.51 is 3.02, yes? 3.02 minus 3 is 0.02. It is positive and very slightly. So that is a viable solution now. Both pieces are positive, we're good. Both pieces are positive, we're good. But you do need to go back and double check that. Okay. All right. Any questions on that one? Everybody good? Any questions on that one? Everybody's good. Okay. Now, this one. We're going to take the ln of both sides. We're going to get 5x minus 3. ln e equals ln 7. ln of e cancels. 5x minus 3 equals ln 7. 5x equals 3 plus the ln of 7. X is equal to 3 plus the ln of 7 over 5. Yeah? With this one, any questions on that before I erase it? Jake, you good? Addie, you good?
yes.
I'm going to erase it, so if you need to, take a picture. What, you tell your assistant to take the picture?
Yes.
Getting awfully close. Alright. Jake, you don't know the struggle, man. Cameras be adding 55 pounds.
Yes, that's that.
Alright. Alright. This one you have to factor. This one you have to factor. E to the x minus 5, e to the x minus 1 equals 0. That gives you the 6x in the middle. Set each one equal to 0. You get e to the x equals 5, e to the x equals 1. Take the ln of both sides. X equals ln 5, x equals 0. ln of 1 is 0. Okay? Any questions? Kyle, you all right? Going once. Going twice. Once, twice. All right. I'm gonna leave that up because I think some of y'all are still staring at it. Let's go here. Let's go x cubed minus 4x squared minus 2 divided by x plus 6. Then let's
Divided.
yes. Then let's go x to the 4th minus 3x cubed plus 2x squared plus 2x minus 4. And I will tell you that 1 plus I is a 0.
The first one is the long division.
Yes, or synthetic, depending on how you want to do it. It's your call.
This is what he was saying the other day. If we continue to sample on the same way. If we continue to sample in the same manner. So we expect 98% of the, okay, because it's not the mean. Of the differences to be between. Yeah.
Allie, you ready? Debo, you ready? Josh, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, first thing I want to show y'all, on your calculators, press test or stat, then go to test. You're going to go down to 2 proportion z int. 2 proportion z int. Everybody see it? Press enter. It'll ask you for x1. You're going to put in 18. It'll ask you for n1. You'll put in 50. It'll ask you for x2. You'll put in 26. N2. You'll put in 50. You'll go down to where it says sea level. You'll type in 0.98. And you go down to calculate and you'll press enter.
I hate when we show things like that after the test.
You haven't had a test.
We couldn't have used that in the last one?
I did show you that in the last one.
Okay, wait. Let me write it down. Say it again.
Stat, test,
Test.
and 2 proportion z n. I did show you on the last test, didn't I? Hey Josh, didn't I show you how to use the calculator for the confidence intervals?
2 proportion Z.
2 proportion z n. Are you on test?
Right here.
Test. 2 proportion z n.
No.
That's the test.
Oh.
That's for the other problem we did. That one. No, that's one. Do the next one. Go down. That one. Josh. All right.
So basically,
The
that's
2 proportion z test is for the first problem we did.
that gave me a little bit different of an answer than I got.
Yeah, because they're gonna round it differently than you are. All right, but on the test, if it just asks you for the confidence interval, and it just says, what's this confidence interval, then feel free to use it. Because remember, the test is multiple choice now for test 5.
Oh, right.
And so I'm not gonna ask you A, B, C, D, E the way I do in class, because they'll just take them out. I can't do that. I have to try to choose which one I'm gonna ask you. So, there you have it. All right. Now, with this, we still have 0.36 and 0.52. So we're going to go part A. This is 0.01. This is 2.33. Part B. P hat 1 minus P hat 2 minus E is less than P1 minus P2, which is less than P hat 1 minus P hat 2, plus E, where E is equal to Z times the square root of P hat 1 Q hat 1 over N1 plus P hat 2 Q hat 2 over N2. Now on the test, I'm not going to ask you that. You won't have a problem that says what formula you're supposed to use. There's just, I'm not wasting. First of all, I got to type all that shit out, and there's no way because it's multiple choice, so I got to type that one out plus 3 other ones. No way. I don't care that enough about it to do that. All right, so that part not going to be there. This part could. This part could, where you actually have to get the answer. So you got 0.36 minus 0.52 minus 2.33 square root 0.36 times 0.64 over 50 plus 0.52 times 0.48 over 50 less than P1 minus P2, which is less than ... We good? So we call this 1/3 and 2/3. That's 2/9, which is 0.22. 0.25 is 0.47. 0.22, 0.47, 0.69. Square root of 0.69 is around 0.8. This is around 7. No, we're dividing by 7. So 2 divided by 7 is around 0.3 times 0.8, which is 0.24. This is 0.36 minus 0.52 is 0.16. 0.16 minus 0.24, I'm going to say that's equal to 0.4, negative. Less than P1 minus P2, which is less than 0.08.
0.68.
I don't know. What did you get?
0.39 and 0.07.
0.07, yeah, you were right on.
Where are you?
Literally. I've stopped even caring to
Like he
follow.
said, this is like, I don't know, 28. Oh wait, no, we're dividing by 7. Where the hell did you get 7?
So,
No, I went to
the lady yesterday, we were talking at volleyball practice. She said she thinks she wants to teach at the college. And I said, why ain't she do it? And she goes, something tells me it's just not hard for you. I said, well, if you have to students, they'll tell you don't look hard at all. They're to tell you that he just comes in every day and
Sometimes I feel like you ramble to calculate it in your head still. You'll just be saying random stuff and I'm like, what?
And so I said, you only have to convince them of 2 things. Number 1, that you care. Number 2, that you know what you're talking about. I said that you care is probably a little harder to convince them of than that you know what you're talking about. I said, but at this point, they're pretty much convinced of what I'm talking about. So she's like, are they? And I'm like, shit, I did a long ass problem today. And they didn't even check the shit. They were just like, well, if he says it, it must be right.
No, we did. We were none of us pulled out our calculators even.
Alright, this one's not too hard though. This one's actually pretty easy.
It's easy. We know we can type it in a calculator.
I mean, think about it.
Hard.
0.36 is 0.33 essentially. So that's 1/3.
Why would you even worry about that to make
2/3. So 1/3 times 2/3 is 2/9.
Yeah.
It's 0.22. It's already got a common denominator.
Yeah, but why? There's a calculator. Why?
And then 0.52, 0.48, just call it 0.5 for each one.
You could have just as easily asked us, been like, are you already working
So
out?
0.25, 0.22, 0.47.
It's still the square root of a decimal. He went from 0.3 to 0.8. I was like, what the hell did you do that?
Alright, so D is a little bit tricky. If we continue to take, this is the interesting part, samples in the same manner. We expect 98% of the proportion differences to be between 0.4 and 0.08. Part E you have on the sheet, yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, Josh, you good?
Yes. Yep.
I'm about ready to race it, Josh.
Go ahead.
Alright, here we go. So, Debo, the other day we were talking about which sport was the most expensive.
Yeah.
And you believe
Got a little heated.
believe very strongly
I do.
that baseball is the most expensive of them all.
I disagree very strongly.
Well, we did a scientific study.
Oh, no,
Based on the number that he said and some random lady on Google.
Okay, well, I would say it really depends on who you are.
Yeah,
and what,
you can
and
choose.
how you play.
I will say there's definitely some baseball players
And I
that
know
spend
it's the
way
same way
more.
that dance is, but I'm saying
No,
if it was the highest end of dance and highest end of baseball, they're probably damn near equal.
So
Yeah.
that's what I think you get into, right?
Yeah.
Because I was talking to a lady at Chick-fil-A yesterday, and her sister plays regional volleyball. And she's like, well, I don't think it's that expensive. And I'm like, just because your house doesn't fucking go anywhere but Clearwater. Like,
Yeah, I know dance gets expensive with like competitions, because the thing
okay,
about dance is
my
really
ass has
costs
gone to
you
Kansas
take
City,
it.
St. Louis, Dallas, and Philadelphia
I've been to, actually, hell, all of dance things.
in
are
the last
Florida.
month and a half.
Almost all of
In the
dance
last 6
competitions
weeks.
are in Orlando. It's
Um,
Dance Central.
But here's the question, Diva. Who's it easier for people to raise money for? Is it girls it easier to raise money or guys easier to raise money, you think?
Probably girls.
Girls for sure. Like y'all just flash that little, hey Miss Did you here?
Yeah.
We're raising money. Would you
You want
like
me
to
to
buy a Kit Kat? They're $17. Sure, baby, let me buy the whole case.
I can't even tell you how many times I pulled that shit at church.
There's guys going like this. Hey coach, you wanna buy some barbecue tickets? Hell no, I wanna buy. They're only $2, coach. Nah, I don't care, I don't want none of that. Hey, your boy, I gotta go check see how much he's raised so far.
It's 50 cents.
I'm not gonna argue with that one, it's a lot easier.
So
for
we're gonna
girls.
send girls out, and we're gonna send 18 girls out, and we're gonna see that they raise on an average $325. All right, we'll say the standard deviation is $18. We're gonna send guys out, and they're gonna average $280. Their standard deviation will be $25, and we'll ask 15 guys to go out. Okay, so we're going out and fundraising. Let's test the claim that girls raise more. Let's use a 0.05 level of significance. Okay.
On the test, is it gonna look like, are they just gonna give us X bar 1, S 1?
Pretty much.
Okay, it's not gonna be like we have to remember.
No.
Okay, cool.
And I don't think I have any of them that you have the data to get in front of yourself.
Nice.
All right. So we got to do long division, yeah?
Yes, you can just do synthetic divisions.
Okay, we'll do both. X cubed minus 4x squared. Now here's the kicker. If you do long division or synthetic, both of them, you got to remember to account for the missing piece. Jake, did y'all account for the missing piece? Jake, you did? Shoemate, the fact that you're erasing means probably not. Kyle, did you account for the missing piece? You go, Kyle. Addie, did you account for it? All right. Now, remember, both of these could be on the non-calculator part. Both of these can be on the non-calculator part. And when there's two parts, do know that when it says no calculator, I expect you to use no calculator. If it flags you for using a calculator, and I see that you got flagged or that you used a calculator, I'm going to give you an F in the class, straight up. Like, I'm telling you I'm going to do it. All right? I'm pretty lenient when it comes to a lot of shit, but when I'm letting you use your notes on the final exam, and it's at home, and it's multiple choice, I don't need you to cheat on top of that. So, don't use your calculator. So both of these could be on the calculator portion or they could be on the non-calculator portion. I don't know which one it's going to be. Okay, I'm not even sure that they're both on there, but this is on there almost guaranteed. I mean, I haven't seen it, but that kind of problem always shows up. All right, it's a very common pre-calculus question. All right, so let's take a look. X goes into x cubed, x squared times. We got x cubed plus 6x squared. We subtract. This becomes negative 10x squared plus 0x. X goes into negative 10x squared, negative 10x times. Minus 60x. Oh, this is lovely. Who created this problem, Kyle?
You.
All right, just wanted to make sure. X goes into 60x, 60 times. 60x plus 360. Subtract. Negative 362 minus 362 over x plus 6. Okay, we good? Addie, you good?
Yeah.
Addie got that big ass phone, won't even fit in her pocket. Addie's phone's a tablet. Which one is that, Addie? Which phone you got?
Oh, the phone?
Yeah,
13?
you got the 13 Supermax, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Must be nice if you can have it. I got the 6.
You don't.
I don't.
The 6?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right. My son was home over Thanksgiving. He's like, Dad, I need to upgrade my phone. I'm like, you do? He's like, yeah. I think you should upgrade yours too. I'm like, I appreciate you telling me it's okay to spend my money.
Whenever you go to find like Z-score or T-score, you use like
The smaller of the two.
Smaller of the two.
Smaller of the two.
So if this would be 15, I would use a T-score.
Yes. Yeah. And you never use a Z-score for these problems. The only Z-score you use is for the proportions.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right, if we're going to do synthetic, this is 1, this is -6, this is -10, this is 60, this is -360, which is -362. X squared minus 10x plus 60 minus 362 over x plus 6. Yeah. That's synthetic division, Jake. All right, Addie, we good? You good with synthetic? Kyle, you good with synthetic? Give you 25 synthetic division problems, you're getting 100, right, Kyle?
Most likely, yeah.
Or at least a 96. You might mess up one by accident, but. All right. Hey, Kyle, how'd that last one treat you?
That's the problem, it's a very similar problem that made me stall on the third test and get a 50. So I may have gotten it this time, I don't remember.
Fair enough. So if 1 plus I is a 0, then 1 minus I is also a 0. Do we agree? And if these are the answers, these are the factors. Yeah? Now the way I deal with it, I call it the difference of two squares and make this x minus 1 squared minus I squared. So that make this x squared minus 2x plus 1 plus 1, which is x squared minus 2x plus 2. Yeah? Now what do I have? X squared minus 2x plus 2 goes into x cubed minus 4x squared. Oh no, just kidding. Goes into x to the 4th minus 3x cubed plus 2x squared plus 2x minus 4. X squared goes into x to the 4th, x squared times. This becomes x to the 4th minus 2x cubed plus 2x squared. Then I subtract. This becomes negative. This becomes positive. This becomes negative. What the flying? Oh. Negative x cubed give me a second. I'm about ready to get stalled with Kyle and get a 50. I'm gonna get to the school around 9:15. What the hell?
I have a question. Could you do 1 plus I times 1 minus I and then try and say if that solves for 0?
What's that now?
So what I did was I did 1 plus I times 1 minus I, I got 2. I just plugged it in to see if it did 0. And it did 0.
You added them together and just plugged in 2?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just random luck.
Oh, okay, that's what I figured.
In the book, I think they had me do it, you know, you did 1 plus I, and then you knew that the 1 minus I was another 0, so then you did some division with it as well. And
Yeah, that would work too.
That's what I did.
Yeah, it took, the book gave me the long way instead of doing it.
I think this way is shorter.
Yeah, that's what.
The only problem is,
The book gave me the long way.
either I'm looking at this guy's page and I'm not even sure that what he wrote down was the right problem. I just searched it on the internet and was like, give me a problem, and I'm not sure that this guy gave me a real problem that would actually work. I assumed it would. But I feel like there's something wrong here. Because if this cancels, and then you get 2x minus 4, we got big problems. Because then this becomes negative x. Well, let's just play it out. Negative x cubed minus or plus 2x squared plus 2x. If you subtract, or no, excuse me, minus 2x. If you subtract, this becomes positive, this becomes negative 2x squared plus 4x minus 4. X squared goes into negative 2x squared, negative 2 times. Negative 2x squared plus 4x minus 4. If you subtract, you get 0, so this is it.
Yeah, that's what.
It just didn't look very good to start. All right. Now, once you get to there, we know that this is a factor, and then that this is a factor, and then from there you get x minus 2, x plus 1, x equals 2, and x equals negative 1. Okay. You guys good? Adi, you good?
Yeah.
All right. You leaving? Go ahead. Appreciate you coming, Jake. Grab another donut on your way out. All right. Can I erase? Not yet. Hey, find the sum of the first 50 even integers. Starting with 2. Find the sum of the first 50 even integers starting with 2. All right.
How do you get the negative 2x squared?
The negative 2x squared, where?
Yeah.
Here?
Yes.
So when x squared goes into x cubed, it goes x times, or negative x times. So then negative x times times x squared is negative x cubed. Then negative x times negative 2x is positive 2x squared.
So you
But then when I subtract it, it becomes a negative 2x squared.
and you subtract it with nothing, right?
With nothing.
Okay.
All right. Find the sum of the first 50 even integers. What's that?
Starting with 2.
2 dot 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 dot. Technically 0 is an even integer.
I think this is starting with 2. So like 2, 4, 6, 8, 3.
Kyle, just give me a second, please.
Again,
All right. We're testing the claim that girls can raise more money. Test the claim that girls raise more money, so our claim is that mu1 is bigger than mu2, right? So HO will be that mu1 minus mu2 is equal to 0. H1 is that mu1 minus mu2 is greater than 0. Part B. This is the right tail test. Our degrees of freedom is going to be 14 in this case, as this is the smallest of the two of those.
Okay, that's what I was confused about.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do the smaller one and then.
Smaller one.
Okay.
All right. Now, if I just memorized all that, you can be impressed. Right, Josh? Like if I was just like T-score degrees of freedom 15, 0.05, 1.814, you'd be like, but I can't do that. Although there's probably a formula for it, I just haven't really ever cared to look at it. 1.761. All right. Part C. X bar 1 minus X bar 2 minus mu1 minus mu2 over the square root 18 squared over 18 plus 25 squared over 15 sorry, I was calculating in my head already. 325 minus 280 minus 0 divided by 18 squared over 18 plus 25 squared over 15 equals, this is 45, this is the square root of 125 over 3, which is 42. 42 and 18 is 60, square root of 60 is 7.6, 7.8. 45 divided by 8 is, damn, it's a lot. 5, shit, it's a high number.
Yeah.
5.8,
Just let him
yeah.
keep going.
What's that?
I thought he was just gonna let you keep working it out. He was just gonna be like, yeah, it's a high one, just keep going.
Yeah, no, it's really high. Now, do you reject or fail to reject HO there? You're going to reject HO, right? Josh? We're going to reject that crap. We're way over there. So for E, we'll reject HO. If we reject HO, we're saying that this is false and this is true, yeah? So what do we do to the claim?
Support it.
So we're going to support the claim. Yeah? Josh, you good?
Yeah, I just typed in my calculator wrong. I got 288.
Yeah, yours is wrong. I'll tell you what you did wrong. I don't have any idea what you did wrong. I can't even give you a good observation. Probably a parenthesis if I had to guess.
Oh, maybe.
There it is.
Wait, so I'm not
The
supposed to.
325 and 280's got to be in parentheses.
I always do it piece by piece. I'm just,
Oh, really?
yeah, that way I don't mess with the parentheses. It works for me though.
So, I've actually seen students do it twice, right? Some people do it that way and have good success. I've seen people do it piece by piece and jack the shit all to hell. So, yeah, I usually just say type it as you see it, put the
It helps the
parentheses on
best.
top, put the parentheses on the bottom. If you do that, you'll generally be okay. I've got a girl in my online class. She's like, I get about half of them right, I get the other half wrong, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, and I'm like, I guarantee you're typing into the calculator wrong. And just depending on how you do it, you get lucky sometimes. Okay. All right, let's go here. Let's construct a 95% confidence interval for the differences in mean. You got the formula on the sheet. X bar 1 minus X bar 2 minus E less than mu1 minus mu2 plus or minus X bar 1 minus X bar 2 plus E.
Yeah, okay.
It's on the sheet.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said, yeah, okay, because if you would have just said that and I didn't have it, I would not have been.
Well, no, that was really just to get you an idea of what you're looking for. Not to give you the answer. All right, so we're looking at the first 50 even integers, yeah? So we got 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Up to 100, yeah? Addie? You agree, baby? I just need you to say yes. Let's see. You agree? What's wrong, baby?
Where did you get the 4, 6, and 8?
Well, it's the first 50 integers, right? So even numbers. Tell me what are the even numbers?
Oh, yeah.
2, 4, 6, 8.
Okay.
All right. Now, if we find the sum for the arithmetic sequence, the sum is the first plus the last times the number of values you have over 2. It's the first plus the last times the sum of the number of values you had divided by 2. So in this case, it is 102 times 25, which is 2550. What's wrong, baby?
What in the world is this?
Yeah.
I'll just cancel the alpha over 2. Just erase it.
Pretend that's not there?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I was lost for a second.
Yeah, I'll leave that in a second.
You know, I used to use alpha over 2 and it confused the shit out of students, so I just started leaving it off. And just be like, we're not even talking about it. Because all it does is it takes your little value and you cut it in half. Like, so when you do 0.95, you do 0.05. What do you do with 0.05?
Confuse me.
You cut it in half, and you can look at that number, right?
Mhm.
The cutting it in half is the alpha over 2.
Oh. So it's just like a way of putting it in the
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, but I'm not gonna do that
right.
because I'm gonna forget and then get confused when I try to.
All right, we good here?
I thought it was 2n minus 1 and then times the.
Say it again.
I thought it was 2n minus 1 and then. Like 25.
2n minus 1? That's the odd numbers.
So the even numbers is.
The even numbers are 2n.
The 2n plus 2. Where'd you put 2 from?
Which 2?
2 plus 100.
The first number is 2. The last number is 100. So it's first plus last divided, or times n divided by 2. All right. Bless you. We good? Find the sum of the geometric sequence. Now, we use words like if it converges, meaning if it gets smaller and smaller and smaller as you go along. All right? Find the sum of the geometric series. You might want to write that one down, Cody.
No, there's a left tree, we'll look at it.
Will you then? Will you?
Yeah, I'll take a picture. It's like-
Will you?
Oh, no, I'll definitely look at this. Anyway, it's Sunday, what are you doing? We'll go here first. So with 3 days of studying, we're gonna do 1 day on Sunday.
That plan's never gone wrong, ever. Hey, never gone wrong, Debo.
Never, works every time.
All right, stats, we're on you in 1 second. Give me a minute.
See you, Mr. Gar.
Love you, man. Take care. Be blessed.
Thank you.
Hey, Addie,
Yeah,
I want you to know I love you.
thank you.
Addie,
Yeah.
when are you taking test 4, baby?
Today is Friday.
I'm leaving next week. I won't be here.
Right, maybe today at 9.
Okay. As long as you know I love you.
Thank you.
Hey, Cody's grade went up 5 points.
5 points. That's a lot on one test.
What's that?
Going up 5 points is good.
They went down to 10.
Oh.
Kyle, your grade went up 5 points. On test 6. Your grade went up 5 points.
Well, that's what it led to the 5 points originally.
Eric pointed out that we had not gone over number 20.
I was gonna ask you about number 20 before we left, yeah, I didn't know.
So we did it yesterday.
We did it yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the one where we expanded the binomial.
Oh, okay.
Right. You're moving.
No, for the first time, we got 28.
And the converts, the converts is the same thing we're doing here.
So I told Eric I would go back and look at everybody's score, and if you missed it, I'd give you credit for it.
In this situation, me 1 minus me 2, would that be 325 minus 280?
So it's x bar 1 minus x bar 2.
Okay. I thought so, I just wasn't sure, because on the last one,
Yeah.
it was a little bit different.
So let's take a look. Let me go grab a different marker. Oh, I missed? How the hell did I miss? All right, stats people, we're on you. On your calculator, press test or stat, then go to test. You're going to look for one that says 2 sample t interval. You'll find one that says 2 sample t interval. It'll ask you for x bar 1. You're going to type in 325.
Wait.
Make sure you're on stats.
Got it.
It'll ask you for x bar 1, type in 325. It'll ask you for S1, type in 18. It'll ask you for N1, type in 18. It'll ask you for x bar 2, type in 280. It'll ask you for S2, type in 25. It'll ask you for N2, type in 15. It'll ask you for a confidence level, type in 0.95. And then I think it says something about pooled or not pooled.
Yeah.
We want to say no on pooled. Okay?
Okay.
We need to write that down now. Dylan, you got it?
Stat test one.
Stat,
Two
test,
sample.
2 sample t interval. Josh, you got it?
Yeah, I have it at L1 and L2.
Yeah, go over the stats,
Oh,
press enter, and now go ahead and type all those numbers in.
gotcha.
Okay. Bottom line is, if the test is asking you for a confidence interval, I ain't doing that shit. I'm using my calculator and I'm just getting the answer.
Cool.
Okay? All right. We ready to go? Everybody see check themselves? Debo, you good? Part A. We're here, this is 0.025, this is 0.025. Our degrees of freedom of 14. Looking up 0.025, 14, we get 2.145. Part B, x bar 1 minus x bar 2 minus e is less than mu1 minus mu2, which is less than x bar 1 minus x bar 2 plus e, where e is equal to t times the square root s1 squared over n1 plus s2 squared over n2. You good? Part C. Part C. $325 minus 280 minus 2.145 square root dot 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 dot. Can I just let that be that? All right, so I'm not even going to deal with it. Somebody just give me the answer.
29.08 and 60.91.
29.08.
When I did the math myself,
Yeah.
I was like 0.5 off.
Yeah, it's going to vary slightly.
Okay, because I got 28.43 and 61.57.
Yeah, it's
So
going to
a little
vary
bit
very
off.
slightly.
So what do we do on the test?
Pick the one that looks like the calculator's answer.
Okay, so we're going by the calculator?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
if you have the calculator, go with that, because that's what the program uses.
Okay.
But it should be pretty close. Okay? They use, they're calculating a much different t-score. By much different, I mean, they're using a much more precise measurement for it. And where we choose the smaller of the 2 degrees of freedoms, they're probably going through a more robust algorithm to come up with a more precise degrees of freedom. We just cheat and say the smallest one.
Got it.
On the test though, like, if I like don't remember how to do the calculator. I write it by hand.
You'll get that answer, and the answers should look pretty close to something that you see.
But I was just like, I don't know how much the answers on the test were.
That's what I was gonna say, you're not gonna be a multiple choice.
I think you'll be able to find it.
You're not gonna be
Listen,
29.2 or
I've done this a
29.3.
lot, and I've never heard anybody say, "Oh my God, I got an answer," and it wasn't like. I mean, no one's ever said anything to me about it, so I'm assuming everybody's able to manipulate it fine. I'm just assuming that. Part D, if we continue to take samples in the same manner, we expect 95% of the mean differences to be between blank and blank. We good?
Yep.
Part E is on the sheet. Population normally distributed, sigma 1 and sigma 2 are unknown and unequal.
Good.
We good? Hey Kyle, can I tell you something that really bothers me? And I know it shouldn't, but it does bother the hell out of me. Can I tell you, Kyle?
Yeah, what's up?
When I'm in the drive-through line and they tell me to pull forward, I hate that. Does that bother you, Kyle, or you don't go through drive-throughs enough to make it bother you?
It doesn't bother me.
Well, this is when it really bothers me. If I look in the rearview mirror and I don't see nobody's ass back there, and you just told me to pull forward,
Oh, if nobody's behind you, that's stupid.
it stops their clock from running. That's why they do it. Because they're on they have to get you out in a certain average. And if you pull forward, then it triggers the clock to stop. So it makes it look like you got your food, even though you didn't. And so it makes me mad, but then I don't want to say anything because, like, do you really want to piss off the $9 hour worker that's making your sandwich? He'll blow his damn nose into that son of a bitch and call it mayonnaise. So, I mean, hey, you know what I'm saying, Josh? You can't say anything, right? All you can do is pull forward and then just mumble under your breath and bitch complain. Like,
People be saying stuff.
like,
I was that guy that said something to somebody who told me to put a mask on back when it was big to wear masks in stores. I was that guy. I would be so pissed. If I was having a bad day, I would lay into somebody.
oh, you would?
Yeah, 100%.
So we're going to look at a new way, because, like, I don't know, but Chick-fil-A's got the shit figured out.
Yeah, I don't know what they be doing, but
I don't know what they be doing, but they got the shit figured out. Like, they can get cars in and out. Like, I'm telling you, if Chick-fil-A rolled out the vaccine, whole country would have that bitch in 15 minutes. Like, you don't want the vaccine? No, I do not. Anti-vax. Here's a chicken sandwich. You know what? Shit, come on now. We're gonna have a new way to handle the drive-through.
okay.
We're gonna speed up the line.
Okay.
Okay? So we're gonna look at wait times before. Alright, so wait time before, this is in seconds, we got 45 seconds.
That's fast. Drive, you gotta wait 45 seconds and you complaining about it.
This is just a fucking problem. We're just trying to write up some numbers. You know what?
Okay.
Let me get more to your speed.
Okay.
1,098 seconds. 105 seconds. 90. 215. 191. 304. 286. 98. 92. They just got a drink, which will probably come out with soda all across the side of the cup. And they will not wipe that off, but it's okay. Let's test the claim.
That sounds personal, Dryer.
It just drives me crazy. Because I'm like, y'all want a pay raise. I think the first step to get a pay raise is learn how to wipe the cup off. Just saying. Test the claim that the new process saves time. when I was in college, I had a professor that was so excited that he created a new algorithm that would shave 2/10,000ths of a second off of a computer processing piece. And he was so excited. And I'm going like, okay, computers are like crazy fast already. And the fact that you just shaved 2/10,000ths of a second off,
Nobody's gonna notice.
no one's gonna care. He was so pumped though. He was like, but you don't understand. I'm like, yee. Okay, that's really cool, dude. Great job. Excellent work. All right.
What
that-
level of significance are we using 0.05?
Yeah, sure. Dylan's like, let's just get to the brass tacks. Give me the damn problem. No one cares about your soda issues. Probably shouldn't be drinking that shit anyway. But you do drink soda because you said you like Pepsi better.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you
I don't
remember
eat
that?
healthy.
Huh?
How do you remember that?
So here's the interesting thing.
You can't remember anybody's name, but you remember what somebody said on a poll.
So I cannot remember anybody's name, but I can remember grades pretty good, and I can remember random shit. Like, it's the craziest thing. It's like this guy, one of my clients, just texted me yesterday and was like, do you happen to remember my Sonos password? So I wrote it back, and he was like, thanks. And it's like, how the hell?
You'll say random things in class, and Emily and I'll look at each other and be like, how does he know that? But he's asked that one girl her name 5 million times.
So it's something about the names that I'm just not very
Like
good at.
Crystal, you every week you're like,
I don't
what's
know
your
who she
name?
is. Who's she?
The one with the
Okay.
pink hair that sits over there.
Oh yeah, I have no idea who she is.
Every
Alright.
week.
I think part of the problem is, if I'm being honest with the names, not that it justifies it on any level. You gotta remember, I started teaching at USF in Tampa. And so we'd have, like my first 15 classes all had 300 people in it. And when there was 300 people, I didn't even try. Like, it didn't even matter to me. Like, you're just some random person that I happen to probably never see again. And so I just never cared. And then I got here, and then I have 20, and I care, but not enough to learn your name. Although I've gone through the whole basketball season not knowing kids' names before.
The first day you said Emily and I's name, she looks at me, she's like, we made it on the good list. And I was like, wow.
Guess that's one way to look at it. So here, formula is 7 times negative 2/3 n minus 1. Do we agree? You see, to figure out this sum, the first thing to do is figure out what the ratio is between all the numbers. Do we agree? Now we know it's negative because it's alternating signs, positive, negative, so forth and so on. All right? So, the fact that this is less than 1 tells me it's going to converge. Let me say that again. The fact that this is less than 1 tells me it will converge. I mean, you'll get an answer at some point. So this is 7 times 1 minus, now remember the formula. The formula is A1, 1 minus r to the n over 1 minus r. That's the formula that we're using. Okay? That's the formula we're using. 1 minus negative 2/3 to infinity over 1 minus negative 2/3. Now, this goes to 0. That's why this has to be less than 1. If this is a fraction less than 1, then when you raise it to the infinity power, that will go out to 0. Okay? So that now this becomes 7 over 1 minus negative 2/3 is 1 plus 2/3, which is 7 over, looks like that's 5/3, which is 21/5, which is 4.2. Say it again.
Could you move the camera?
Of course. Different angle. And if you show up on Friday and Wednesdays, I'm much more likely to remember your name. And let's be honest, he was a baseball guy until I went to the game.
When you said his name
My
on
sister-
class on Monday, I was
Yeah.
like, what in the world?
So this is how this goes down, right? I tell my wife, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go to the Osceola Winter Haven game. And she's like, oh, Winter Haven's playing Osceola? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I got a student who plays for Winter Haven. She's like, what's his name? I'm like, I don't know, baseball guy. And she's like, what? And I'm like, I don't know his name. Like, I really don't know his name. I think his name is baseball guy. That's why I always call him. And so, she's like, so you don't know his name? And I'm like, well, hold on, I can figure it out. I can't remember what class he was in. I was like,
Sure.
he's a baseball guy, and he's in, I don't know, you know. So then I start going through the list on Max Preps. That's where I go to Max Preps.
Oh, I
This
thought
is
you
the
were
roster.
going through Canvas.
No, Canvas, I got 6 courses. I got 7 classes. I wouldn't do me any good. So Max Preps, I start looking at the names, and I'm like, I think his name might be Dylan. So then I start going through my rosters. College algebra. No, there's no Dylan in there. And then I finally found it. I was like, oh yeah, his name is Dylan. So then when we were at the baseball game, he's up at bat.
You
and
knew his name.
I knew his name at that point. And he had his name on the back of his jersey, which also helps. And then I heard the
But
crowd
it
yelling.
didn't say Dylan, so that didn't help you.
I heard the crowd yelling Devo, and I'm like, oh well, shit, that must be his nickname. I'll just start calling him that. I could have remembered that if you would have told me that.
You want to know something funny? This might be a little inappropriate, but it's really funny to me.
Do I need to pause the video?
You might.
All right, we're gonna go to commercial break. Hold on for a minute.
Commercial break.
We're gonna go to commercial break. I don't know how to pause the video. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can do it this way. Can't do it that way. I will pause it.
Just turn it.
Okay, so did you hear him chanting Iron Devo? They call me Iron Devo. Okay, so they call me Iron Devo a lot, and I was like, one day they were talking about something, and I was like, oh yeah, I have a porn video, joking around. I told you it was very random.
Definitely should have turned the camera off.
Yeah, I was joking around, and they were like, oh, what's your name? And I was like, Iron Devo. And ever since then, they'll chant my name, Iron Devo, just like that. So they believe me 100%.
I did not hear them say it. I heard one of the fans yelling Devo, and I was like, oh.
I would have died. Jordan comes back into class calling me after.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that would have been.
And they call me Iron all the time. It's so funny to me.
Alright.
So now strangers call you that, don't even know why.
Yeah. My parents do.
How do you get the -2?
How did I get to negative 2/3?
Yeah.
Great question, Addie. Thank you for bringing us back on track. I look at 7 and I'm trying to figure out 7 times what? 7 times what gives me negative 14/3? Yeah? Divide by 7, divide by 7. When you divide by 7, negative 14/3 times 1/7, which is how you got to deal with that. Negative 2/3. Okay. What's that?
So that's not how I do it. I just like whatever the numerator is, I have to whatever that is, like 7.
That's how I do it too. But if there's a process to follow, I mean, if somebody says, how do I solve it? Then that becomes the way to solve it. If you don't just look at it and write it down. All right. So pre-calculus, I'm going to leave you guys with that. Y'all should be pretty well ready to take the final. All right. Between this and what we did yesterday, we've covered a good portion of it.
Was it more like today, more like non-calculator, and yesterday was more calculator?
I don't remember. I would say today was more like calculator, and yesterday was more like non-calculator, but I might be wrong about that.
Because I just already said.
I mean, I don't know which part's which, so I don't look at that carefully.
Well, I mean, like some questions like you kind of have to like, you know.
Which one?
Well, I don't know, I'm just saying like.
Okay.
All your problems.
All right.
If I were to do the, I know on the test or the one to do the sum on the calculator of
Yeah.
however many numbers.
That would do.
Which one do I do first? Do I do the?
You do the sum first,
Sum.
do the sum first, and then the
And
sequence.
then, okay. So I'm gonna do this.
Jordan, this isn't really that question, but we did this in class the other day, and I went back and looked at my notes, and I have no clue what the heck we were doing. Like,
That, we'll do when we get done with this.
okay, because I looked back at it, and I was like, I don't even know what I was trying to solve here, honestly.
Yeah. Can I go ahead and work y'all through this?
Yeah.
And then let me just finish it for you. And then I'll do one of those last ones and then call it good. All right. Test the claim that the new process will save time. First of all, you gotta subtract, yeah? 38 minus 45 is -7. Hey, Jake, love you, man, be good. Hey, good luck to you wherever you go.
Thank you.
This is -24. This is -18. This is -6, yeah? Subtracting the after and the before. Put these in the L1.
Me too.
What's wrong? What happened?
Nothing, we're wrong.
So no, if you do it the other way, then all your numbers turn out positive. Doesn't matter.
It's good, we're good.
No, so, but I do want you to hear this. If you did after minus before minus after, this is 7, this is 15, this is 24, this is 18, this is 6. You're gonna get the same answer.
Yeah, that's not where I'm wrong. Keep going.
Oh, okay. All right. Plug these in the L1. -22, -46, -64, -70, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like it's -14. You good, baby?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even check yours. Yours might be about 5 points. Nope, you got it right.
These two, and where are you going to find it?
This one, it's early on, I don't know. But it's early that first section. There's sequences, there's arithmetic sequences, and there's geometric sequences. This is part of the first one.
It will be like.
So it's like 9-1 or
Chapter 11 or
chapter 11, 11-1, I don't know, I don't have the book.
something. Okay.
But if you have the book, I'll look at it for you.
It's on, I have, it's online.
Yeah, so just do a search for sequences. And it's the first section in that sequence. So wherever you see the sequence chapter at, go get it from there.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Because I don't have the book. I mean, I don't have it with me, so I don't know.
Right.
All right? All right, so this is -14. Take as many as you want, because Josh is taking the rest of them home. That is so good, and now your hands are on, so you got to take it with you. All right. Can't pick up a donut for the back. It's against the rules.
No, that's
Right.
nasty.
Once you touch it, that's
It's like
now
a
you
cake,
okay.
you can't.
Yeah. And you can get any cake from a birthday party where the kid is less than 6.
Unless you open box.
Unless you watch them cut it.
No. Blow out the candle. I'm good. I'll just have ice cream this time.
Yeah, you really do gotta watch it. Same thing with
All
other
right.
people.
Yeah, same thing with old people. So standard deviation, what do you get? 37, looks like it's around 8.4.
Sure,
I mean, I don't know what it is, but
I'm trusting you. Go ahead.
can we just go with 8.4 and call it?
24 works.
8.4.
We really got stooped this low that we don't even care.
Well, it doesn't matter, like,
8.4-ish.
okay, we're calling it that. Check and adjust as needed.
I'm not even writing that. I'm just
If
gonna
you
go
care.
8.4.
That's really for people online. All right, and let me just say it this way. Go to L1. Go to L1. Put the numbers in. Stat, calc. One variable statistics. And then you'll get the answers. All right?
Put in like the numbers
Put in
from
these
the
numbers.
bottom row, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, pause.
Oh, you're going to do it now? I thought we were calling it.
Yeah, I was calling it, but now I actually have no clue what we're doing, so now I have to actually check it. One variable stats. Oh, cool. Good. We're good. We're good enough.
Okay, well, what's the answer? Now that you've done it, might as well fix
I
it.
didn't type the numbers in, Dryer.
Oh, okay, so then we're still calling it.
Yeah,
Josh, we calling it?
let's see.
Yes.
All right, let's just move it on then.
Okay,
Just go ahead and tell me what the hell the answer is, because I'm going to be wondering now.
okay.
I feel pretty good about the negative 14. Although I could have.
Negative 14, 7.6. And
7.6.
we would have left that 8.4 in. None of us would have ever known.
Calculate.
All right, so on the calculator, we got
Yeah, close
7.6.
enough.
Let's be honest, I'm not going to be that far wrong.
8.4, 7.6, who cares?
Definitely within one, so we're good. All right, part A, HO. We're testing that the process saves time, right? So we're testing the claim that mu D is less than 0. This is mu D is equal to 0, yes?
That's how to write that one.
Okay. Part B. All right, part B. This is a left tail test. We're using 0.05. So our degrees of freedom is 4. Our degrees of freedom is 4.
Oh, yeah, 4.
Huh?
2.132.
Yeah, sure.
Call it negative.
Yep.
Part C. D bar minus mu D over SD bar with the square root of n. Just to make sure you understand, this SD bar, the D bar has nothing to do with the D bar that we find in the problem. It's just a standard deviation. Okay, but they use SD bar as the notation, but it just means standard deviation.
Okay.
Okay? What you'll find is we usually tend to ignore a lot of those subscripts. Like
So
the
it's
alpha.
basically the same as
I was gonna say.
Yeah, so it's exactly the same as the
We
T
use
problem.
50 different things to write the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
Yeah, so the t-score was x bar minus mu over s divided by the square root of n, exact same formula. Except that we're not doing x bar, we're doing d bar because we're finding the difference between them.
But it's
But
still all
it's
X.
functionally the same exact problem,
Yeah, okay.
which is why I don't really spend a whole lot of time on this, because you've already seen it once. All right, so t equals negative 14 minus 0 over 7.6 divided by square root of 5. So this is around 2.3, that's 28, 32, 7. So it's around negative 4 point. Two. I don't know what it is.
Negative 4.1.
Who?
Negative 4.1. Same thing.
I was ready to call it. Negative 4.1. Josh, you okay?
Yeah.
You reject, you fail to reject HO.
Reject.
Reject HO, right? Part F. We're going to support the claim.
How do you write these ones? Just, there is sufficient evidence to support the claim?
Yep. New process helps you save time. Part G, see the sheet. Now, obviously, if I have to create a confidence interval for this, you can go to your calculator, you can press stat, test, and go to T interval. T interval would be this problem, okay? Stat, test, T interval. Stat, test, T interval. Now here again, you may get the data stats thing that you got to deal with. Just make sure you're on stats, and you'll just type it in. Although if you typed them into L1 already, it'll pull them off anyway.
How do you know, like, because like you knew it was two different like ways to put it in the calculator. How do you know which one to use on which problem?
So it depends on what the problem is. If the problem is talking about proportions, then you would do 2 proportions again.
Okay.
If the problem is talking about the difference in the two means, and that's where it gets kind of interesting, right? The difference between two means, you have two groups. You have a mean of one group, you have a mean of another group, and you're comparing those means. With this one, you essentially have the same person twice,
Yeah.
or the same application twice, right? So now we're testing, okay, you've got a pitcher, he throws an 88, I bring him in for some strength training and some stretching, and I'm gonna argue that by you coming in and seeing me, I'm gonna increase the velocity on your fastball.
Okay.
Well, now you're not measuring Winter Haven's fastball versus Osceola's fastball. Now you're measuring, does this process improve velocity? It's the same person twice.
Okay.
Oh.
And so now that's before and after. And so that's not, because a lot of people think, well, just find the mean of this, find the mean of this, and then compare those. That's not how it works, because it's the same person twice. It's not two different groups of people.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And this is actually very common. I mean, very common in athletics. You know, there's always a trainer claiming some bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone through testing my whole life there in baseball, so like,
Yeah.
there's med ball throws, broad jumps, verticals,
Yeah.
alpha, velo, exit velocity, all that.
Yeah. And so there's always somebody saying, I can improve this. Pay me. Right? That's exactly the way that system goes. And so, you know, but see, it's the same thing, right? You're the one who asked about the SAT, right? So if Vaughn and I go, come see us, we're going to improve your SAT scores.
I think you did.
I appreciate that. But if I'm going to profitize that,
Yeah.
I need to be able to demonstrate to a parent,
This is what they got before.
this is what they got before, this is what they got afterwards, and this is why you should pay me.
Not this kid that didn't go to me, this kid.
Yeah, right. So,
Then you have the off chance, remember, like, I think it was Wednesday, like, one of them was like,
yeah, and then one of them went up.
yeah, so it was like, he may have that off chance, so.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That makes more sense.
So a friend of mine, his dad is a professional gambler. Well, actually, he's a professional gambler too, but his dad is in the Hall of Fame. And he was saying that one of his best tricks was to bring people down and get them a lesson before they played.
So then they would try whatever technique.
And so he'd like, come on down, and he'd give a lesson. At the time, the guy's name was David Ledbetter. He's one of the leading golf trainers in the country. He's like, oh, I'll get you a lesson with David Ledbetter. And then he'd pay Ledbetter, not to mess him up, like that wasn't, but you know how when you try something new, that first couple times, you try it, but you're jacking it all up, because it's new.
But even if they're doing it right, then there's ways around it that you know what they're gonna do.
No, well, this is golf, so I mean, it's just individual sport, but he said he'd bring them down and go out and bust their ass for a couple $100,000 on the course. And send them back. But, you know, you're doing before and after, right? Like, you know, if you're a golfer and you're saying, you know, I'm going to increase your drive, well, how do you show that? How do you prove that you know, your technique is going to increase somebody's drive? Well, you got to find it before and you got to find it after and try to show that. Okay. You know, maybe you're testing 2 cancer treatments and you're saying that this treatment works better than this treatment does. Well, how do you show that? Well, it's either before or after, or you get 2 groups, right? And you say, Group A is going to get cancer treatment 1, and Group B is going to get cancer treatment 2, and then we're going to compare those 2 groups. And then that would be the difference in means.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense? So it just depends on how you're doing it and what you're doing.
Okay.
Okay. All right, last one, and I got to get out of here. I told my client, Lake Wells, I'd be there at 10.
Hey, I made it here from Lake Wales in like 2 fast this morning. We're in
Not getting there at 10 o'clock, I promise you that.
No, you will not.
I'd be surprised you get to go back to the long ass walk over there.
And I still got to go to the TLCC.
Oh.
So let's just real quick, we're going to look at the number of people in your party. And the cost of like going to like Carrabba's. Okay? So if you have 2 people, maybe it costs $52. If you have 3 people, it might cost $71. If you have 4 people, it might cost $105. 3 people may cost $65. 5 people might cost $120. Okay? And so what we're interested in here is any correlation between the number of people who sit down at the table and how much it's going to cost. Now, I think all of us would agree the more people who sit down, the more the bill's going to go up. That's not, like, good job, Dryer, way to come up with that great find.
But like how much?
How much does each add each person? Okay? All right, so here's what we're going to do. This is going to be L1, this is going to be L2. Okay? This is going to be L1, this is going to be L2. All right, so go ahead and just go to your calculator. Go to L1, type in 2, 3, 4, 3, 5. Make sure you're deleting anything that's on the bottom of that. Saw yesterday somebody had an issue and they got what's called the dim mismatch error. If you ever get a dim mismatch error, what that means is it's looking at L1 and it's looking at L2 and it's expecting that these two will have the same number of data points. And so if it looks at L1 and it looks at L2 and say L2's got a 96 down here, it goes, well, you've got 5 data points here, you got 6 data points here, and then it will produce this dim mismatch error, letting you know that one data set has more numbers than the other. Okay? All right, everybody got that?
And we just go to stat, edit,
Yep. Stat edit.
L1, L2.
And then
Yep.
stat test.
Yep. So now, again, make sure you remember if you go up, you got to press clear and hit enter. If you're going to get rid of the list, go up, press clear, hit enter, and that will get rid of the list for you.
Okay, now in test, where do we go to?
So now you're going to go to stat, you're going to go to test, and I believe it's option 4, linear regression, AX plus B.
Option 4 is choose sample t-test.
Option 5,
No.
6, 7, 8, 3, 2.
Linear regression?
Yeah, which one is? No, shit, it's not that.
Calc.
It's stat calc, not stat test.
Dryer.
Stat calc. My bad. What number is it?
4.
Okay, so I was right. So I wasn't right. All right. And actually, I think option 8 is also linear regression, and it just writes them backwards. It writes it as B plus AX. It's kind of a dumb thing. I don't know why they do it twice.
That's what I'm asking this whole semester, Dryer. Why do they do this twice? Because we get the same thing for 5 different letters.
I know. Love you.
Just,
And I found it so interesting, I got a degree in it.
I don't know why you did L1 and L2.
Yeah. Enter. And you should get, it'll come up and say something like y equals ax plus b. It'll say a equals b equals, and then r and r squared equals.
It just starts with A and B for me.
All right. Well, because you're not using your real calculator.
Yeah, I got this stupid one. I'm just kidding.
So if you have to turn it on, second catalog, diagnostic, on. Enter.
Thanks.
All right. So then you just got to be able to write the equation down and write down either r or r squared. Okay. What did you get for the equation? Y equals what?
Ax plus B.
Well, no fucking shit. What were the A and B though?
24.58, so 24.6, and
24.6x.
yes,
Go ahead.
and negative 0.96 for B.
Negative 0.96. Okay. Now, immediately, you know our equations are a little bit screwed up. This is just an observation as you sit here. Because the equation would look like this. If nobody shows up, it costs you 96 cents. Well, that don't make no damn sense. Like, how the fact do I not go, do they charge me 96 cents for not showing up? Like, you just drive by Carrabba's and throw a dollar. What's this for? That's because I did not come in tonight. So, I mean, that's, we know it's a little bit skewed there. But, we look at R and R squared and we see what kind of predictor it is.
We should do lots. We should have lots of these on the test. I like these ones. These are easy.
Yeah, they're not hard. What's R?
0.978, so 0.98.
0.98. And so what that tells me is that, yeah, there's a pretty strong correlation between the number of people in the party and how much you have to spend, which kind of confirms what we already suspected. Okay? Now let's say you go there with 8 people, birthday party. Right? Big spender, you're going to go with 8 people and you're going to buy everybody food. That's what Josh's dad does. How much is it going to cost?
You just put it down right for X.
Yeah, so you just plug it in for X, 24.6 times 8 minus 0.96. 192,
195.84.
that's the final answer? Sounds great. I was getting there.
Sorry.
Just took me a little bit.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm totally cool with it. That pretty much covers all of test 5.
All right, so you can put lots of those on test 5.
I think there's a couple. Not lots.
And the final, like,
It's over
well, I guess it's
Covers the whole course.
I guess everything's multiple choice.
Is there like definitions on the final?
There are definitions on the final if you're watching this
I'm about to
out.
make one big fat Quizlet and then just have that, like, oh wait, we can't use our phones, dang it.
No, you can't use your phone.
What about to print out a big fat Quizlet?
Jared, you know the Evans family?
Which-
Maddox Evans?
Yeah,
Yeah. I've been meaning
So
to
I-
mention that to you, but
I
me and
tutored
Maddox.
Maddox.
What's that?
I tutored Maddox for a little minute.
Yeah, me and Maddox are like best friends. And I meant to, I kept meaning to like tell you that because she told me that you were like good family friends.
Yeah. We've known them for a while. I want to say that she might have come to our kids club at one point.
Really?
See, we go to the kids club besides Gold Gym.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, my friend Anna is in the percussion for the band, so I went to see it for Anna.
Oh, that was the concert they had last night? How was it?
Awful. It was so long, Jar. It was boring as hell.
So one of my students is in that,
Yeah.
and I was feeling guilty for not showing up.
Don't feel guilty. It's okay. There was actually a lot of people there, surprisingly.
All right, if you want another donut, grab it. If not, I'm gonna take whatever's left over to the TLCC.
But yeah, because she told me that one day she was taking a test. She was like taking a test in the room.
She's just here for the test. Thank God.
I was like, uh-oh.
All right, hold on, baby. Do what now?
She was taking a test in the room next to us, and she like heard you, and then she heard my voice, and then you walked over there, and you said, "Give me the answer." She said, "Give me $20." And I started to die, and she was like, "Well, what's the test?" And you're like, "Oh, never mind."
Yeah.
But yeah, it was
That was
funny.
pretty funny. Yeah, no, she's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Have a good day, Dryer.
Bye, baby. Love you. Take care. Good luck.
You've been the best professor I've had.
I appreciate that.
Factual. You are too, but it's because you're the only professor I've ever had.
Oh my God.
But,
Thanks a lot, Josh. I'm best by default.
could I,
What do you want?
can I have the number of your lawyer if I ever get pulled over?
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta get off my phone. Hold on.
Okay.
Joanna. And I'm here to get Zuli's.
Zulima? What's her last name?
Torres, I think? I'm not sure.
You passed security check.
Do you know what kind of questions are going to be on test 5? Is
Yeah.
it just like the basics, like the definitions and then?
No, baby, there's no definitions on it at all.
Oh, really?
No. It's all hypothesis test and confidence intervals.
Okay.
Covering chapters 9.1, 9.2, and 9.3. In fact, if you'd like to, I would encourage you to watch the YouTube video because we just did the whole test.